Hey friend, Brandon here from This is Tech Today, and this is the Samsung Galaxy S25 EDGE, an incredible 5.8mm thin addition to the Galaxy S25 lineup, weighing a mere 163 grams or 5.75 ounces. Let's take a deeper look at it and let me know your honest thoughts on the Samsung Galaxy S25 EDGE, and I'll share mine at the end. First, despite its thin size, about as thick as 6 credit cards, it has a flagship size 6.7-inch 120Hz LTPO AMOLED display that matches the size and resolution of the Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus. I wouldn't be surprised if it's using the same panel, but with new glass on top of it. Speaking of that glass, it has a new Corning Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 on the front with an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner underneath it, and it's thinner yet stronger with crack deflection, which helps the Galaxy S25 EDGE to be as thin as it is. Essentially, it's the same experience as what you get on the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, but without that anti-reflective coating, and it's thinner. Samsung has been known to work with Corning on glass exclusives to them for a time, which is generally assumed by many regarding the anti-reflective display on the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Is that the case with Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2? Will this be exclusive to Samsung, and if so, how long? I'm honestly not sure. On the back is Gorilla Glass Victus 2 and 2 cameras, a 12-megapixel f2.2 ultra wide with autofocus and a 200-megapixel f1.7 wide angle with a 2x optical zoom and OIS. While this isn't a dedicated telephoto lens, which would be more ideal, the 200-megapixel sensor should give you some range to work with to get at least a solid 4x up to 10x zoom. Fun fact, this is the first time Samsung's flagship 200-megapixel sensor has appeared on a device other than the Ultra. The selfie camera is a 12-megapixel f2.2 aperture, and remember that a 12-megapixel sensor is the minimum to capture 4K video, so you're covered there on the selfie and ultra-wide. Internally, it has 12 gigabytes of RAM and a Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset for Galaxy, a slightly overclocked version of the standard 8 Elite processor. And many of you are probably wondering about the battery life on a phone that is this thin. I've been quite curious about it since the teaser at Unpacked. Is Samsung adopting the silicon carbon technology that Oppo, OnePlus, Vivo, and Xiaomi devices use to get that high-density battery in this thin form factor that blows us all away? No, they did not. It has a 3,900 milliamp battery that they say is an all-day battery. This is the smallest battery in the Galaxy S25 lineup, yet it has a screen and resolution as large as the Galaxy S25 Plus, which has a 4,900 milliamp battery, which is 1,000 milliamps more than the Galaxy S25 EDGE. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus got me about 6.5 hours of screen on time, or enough to get you through about 15 to 16 hours comfortably, so essentially all day when you add in the time that you're asleep. So how will they provide an all-day battery life experience with 1,000 milliamps of reduced capacity with essentially the same display? Let me know what you can come up with in the comments. We'll have to see how this all plays out in the reviews. Maybe they pulled some efficiency tricks with the processor and software. I'm not sure. But I remain concerned. We've seen how going thinner has resulted in battery life issues from Apple and other companies in the past. This has fueled some of the comments in the tech community that exclaim, why not make the phone thicker? Get rid of the camera bump and have a larger battery instead, which a phone like the Google Pixel 9a took seriously with its 5,100 milliamp battery. Is even greater thinness something that people desire, or are we happy with what we have now? Once the Galaxy S25 EDGE is released and in people's hands, we'll certainly find the answer to these questions soon. At least it has wireless charging, which is perfect if you're often sitting at a desk. You will likely be fine with the battery life because you'll just charge it throughout the day. Software-wise, it has Android 15 with the latest OneUI 7 OS. It has all the same features, smooth and fast performance, and the Galaxy AI capabilities that we've seen on the other Galaxy S25 series devices. It has a nice titanium frame that feels shockingly thin and strong in the hand. It makes you think of the display lid side of a laptop, but without any flex. Any blocky feeling isn't much of an issue because it's so thin. There's not much block to feel. And I really think this could be easy to forget that's in your pocket. But I would be remiss to not mention that the Moto Z from 2016 was only 5.2 millimeters thin. It does have an IP68 water and dust resistance rating, which is behind the Chinese brands that now have an IP69 rating. It will officially release on May 30th in titanium jet black, titanium icy blue, and titanium silver. There are no exclusive Samsung store colors this time. It has 256 gigabytes and 512 gigabyte storage options, and it starts at $1,099, which is $100 more than the Galaxy S25 Plus and the Apple iPhone 16 Pro list price devices. But I'm curious, do the thin size but reduced specs warrant a higher price than the Galaxy S25 Plus? Do you perceive super thin as premium? I'd love to know your thoughts. Samsung spent some time in the briefing that I attended and shared how this was an innovation product that they simply wanted to get into people's hands and get feedback on what they could iterate on. They don't plan to manufacture or sell a ton of these. It's also unclear if this will be a one-off, an offshoot, or part of the ongoing lineup in an annual release. In many ways, they're just kind of winging it and seeing what sticks. But it's hard not to think that this device exists to beat Apple at releasing yet another thing before them, because there were teasers and rumors about a thin iPhone Air of some sort. Does it make sense to have a strategy that intends to just be a competitor at their own product before them? Or does it make more sense to make a product for a consumer in mind? I guess we'll find out how successful that route is. Samsung states that they have been listening to their customers and that many are asking for something like this because, well, people have talked about how weight and feel in the hand is essential. But I think Samsung may be misinterpreting this feedback, or maybe I'm unaware of this audience that this is for. If that's the case, I want to know, are you that audience? If so, let me know what makes this especially compelling to you. If it's not for you, let me know in the comments. I want to hear your honest thoughts about the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge. If you are the person that this is for, you can reserve it now with the affiliate link in the description. And they said that the pre-order deals that are coming out with that is going to be the best it's ever going to be. It's never going to be cheaper or better later on. So if that's true and you're interested, get in now. But let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. This is Tech Day. Until next time.